Alright, so this is going to be kind of a weird video. Instead, it's kind of going to be talking about a parts bucket build and the story of the Superbird. Because I actually found a picture from 2013 of this car when I first built it up. And I cannot believe it is 2018 and I still have this guy. So I want to talk about it and exactly the full story as to how it ended up how it is now. First of all, I will show you a photo of how it looked when I completely built it up. It was painted in a Krylon yellow and clear coated, I think, a bunch of times, which I will show right now. I mean, I gotta admit, I did a pretty good job back in the day, because I don't really do shiny builds anymore. Well, if I do, they're kind of small, like the '89 Batmobile. That wasn't really shiny. That was just more of a clean build. I think I did a decent job building a stock Superbird. If I'm not mistaken, this was just a regular Revell Superbird that I think I got in a parts trade because it was missing the rear wing, which I built up from scratch styrene for some reason, and it's pretty flimsy. It's not really heavy. And I had it sitting, and I built it up, and then one of my friends was saying, I think I parted this out to one of my friends. What happened was, I think I had a Monogram 70 Roadrunner, and it was missing a bunch of stuff. And this chassis, I think, fit it, and so did a bunch of other parts, like the interior. So I believe I parted this out. I took the hood off of it, sent it with that Roadrunner, even though it's the incorrect hood. And the rear taillight panel, the interior, everything, even though I just built it up and completely had it really nice looking, just gutted it and sent it to one of my friends. So then I just had this beautiful, cleared Superbird body just sitting, sitting in my workshop. And it sat for quite a bit from what I remember. And I think just one day something just snapped in me and I was just like, I have to fix this thing up. And I didn't have any of the parts anymore. So I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to build something really crazy. So I went through my parts bucket and I had quite a bunch of spare parts. The chassis on this thing, which I could show off here, was the Chip Foose 67 Dodge Charger. If I'm not mistaken. Yes, that is. Okay, that is the Chip Foose 67 Charger. The chassis came from a 70 Buick GSX, which I had to cut off a little bit to fit in there. It doesn't fit quite well, but it did fit there for the most part. So, and that was the only interior tub that I had sitting around that was relatively big enough to fit in this car. And it is in there. You can kind of see it's not in there perfect. I'll try to show it off. It looks really, really crappy. I wish I could fix up this interior, but I'm so scared of pulling this thing apart. Yeah, you could see that. You could just see like into the back there. I really wish I could have done something. I wish I could have done something with the top, too. That looks really ugly. But considering the interior is kind of dark, it's kind of hard to see in there anyway. But yeah, that's a 70 Buick interior in there. The engine is off of an old dragster Budweiser diecast that I think broke. Like, broke bad. And I had the engine from it. And that's it right there. The radiator is from the MPC Dukes of Hazzard General Lee. I think not the same with the battery, no. So yeah, that was a hell of a thing. Let's go down to the chassis, actually. I'll show more of that off. These are new, by the way. I just added these today. These little pipes, because there were open headers before. And, like, Jesus. Not that that's any better, but at least it's something. It's kind of cool because it kind of dumps out on the side there, and you can kind of see it when it's displayed. The front end, I don't remember where that came from, but these two front tires came off of a 55 Chevy not dragster, Chevy Gasser, if I'm not mistaken. And I tried to make it look like there's a transfer case there, just covered up, but I think reality is the drive shaft was too small, and the transmission's too small for it to get into there. This came off of the MPC Roscoe cop car, this whole piece here. And again, this is the Charger chassis. So I guess it's technically a Dodge Charger with a Roadrunner body on it. And again, the back, which is pretty cool. Just scrap styrene to make it look like it's metal. And these little green stripes back here, I'm not sure what model kit they came off of. I think they were just random decals I had in my parts bucket. And yeah, that's pretty much the story of the Superbird and what everything is. It is pretty damn crazy to think that I've had this thing for, a while now. And it's still one of my favorite little models. I know it's not perfect, like the inside is really crappy looking, and same with the chassis, but as long as I have it displayed like this, I'm kind of happy with it. Maybe one day I could find a hood for it. I don't know if anyone out there even has a Revell Superbird hood just laying around. If it's a different color, that's probably going to be a plus for me. Even if it's newer, like it's not even like rusted or anything, that would be cool. Like it's a brand new part just put on a really shitty beaten up car. I have thought about bringing this into my story. Not my story with my Circle character, the one with like my dragon characters, and my main character, the Dark Elf Bounty Hunter character, Mel. I picture her driving something like this and like joking around with it. There were these two people that have a Charger from Raceland Weekend, and I'm just like they're the way of talking about that car. I was just like, I feel like she would talk like that too, because he's just like, yeah, the Charger. It's an original numbers matching Hemi RT car, and he just goes, okay, I'm joking. No, it's a fake. Like, I feel like she would say something like that. Like, she'd be like, yeah, this is an all original Hemi Superbird, and just be like, no, it's a clone. She definitely would say some shit like that. But yeah, this thing is really, really weird and really quirky. But I like it. Maybe one day I'll get a hood for it. I don't know if anyone has any, but if anyone has any more Superbird models, I mean, hit me up. I never get tired of these, man. I would actually want to build another one of these. Like, same thing and everything, just with proper Superbird parts. Like, proper interior and chassis. And then actual, like, real 4x4 parts. And not just crappy parts bucket things. So yeah, I don't know if this thing has a nickname. I've been thinking about that, but I just call it just the Superbird. This actually might be a pretty decent car to take off-road. That front end, the way that it points up and everything, that probably would give you, and it's lifted quite a bit. So, I don't know, maybe you could go off-road a little bit easier. I'll stop. No one wants to go off-road in a Superbird. Anyway, let me know what you guys think of the legend of the Superbird, the story of this thing. And yeah, I will see you guys next time.